I think that a key part of this, what I really love about this panel, is that you're seeing the leadership is strong. But leadership needs the strength of the community. And so what I would like to do, I was taking notes on various things here on my hand, various things that you need to know better as a community leader. For instance, grass is a terrible thing in Southern California. If you have native plants, that actually helps to heal the soil, that helps to retain water. So part of what you can do to empower your leaders who are very strong and very motivated to serve you well is to become part of the solution as well. Right. So I want to give you some keys. I've passed these resources out to various people. Also, I was telling you about that eco school in Poundbury. They funded all their projects by winning awards. So I'm saying there is money out there. There are organizations out there. You do need to have the plan. But each one of us can be a part of that. That's the whole premise of the power of 8 billion inhabitants of planet Earth, that each one of us can be a part of the solution. So I want to give you a couple of things, a little bit of homework to do. First thing is Brent Todarian, great urban planner for shared roads. I don't know if we can afford him or not, but it's worth it. Maybe you have to dust off your degree and you become involved in this. Read up on Leon Creer, a creator of communities that have safe shared roads as well. Pilot programs. I'm a resident of Santa Monica. When I first was going to Santa Monica College quite a while ago, no safe roads. I rode my bike on the sidewalk and got tickets all the time for doing so because it was not safe to ride on the road. So I know that pilot programs are the key because residents don't want to share the, car drivers don't want to share the roads. But if you say, oh, well, let's just try it in a pilot program, then they get used to it and that becomes a way to do things. So a lot of the things where you're trying to push something forward, think about those ways that you can massage it through. Residents that none of us want to get out of our comfort zone. We just want everything to be the same way it was, but yet we want somehow the world to be magically different, right? So we're going to have to take these steps. Soil, I want you to check into The Wastewater Gardener by Mark Nelson, as well as Regenerative Landscaping by Eric Olson. Please read up on that. The resources are listed here as well, so that you in your own little plot of land can be part of the larger community, drawing down CO2, fire resilience, water retention. All of these things can be happening in your own little plot of the area as well. And that becomes, as you do this, and as these are the conversations that you have with your neighbors, that floats up to these great leaders who find the money to do it on the bigger scale that you need it to be done. So I would just say that even though we need them as fired up and as informed and as plugged in as they are, they need you as well.
Well, Natalie, that was going to be the third question, but so that was going to be the third question. But I was really going to start out with the main purpose Greg's kind of made this event. Before bringing residents is to know where the soil is safe and where the soil is not safe, right? And that can be something that happens where it can be done for the entire fire affected area to find out which soils have higher contaminants and which have least. And then there are all sorts of type of solutions, from using compost, natural things to like mitigate it and know when you're going to build a slab that contains those contaminants, but you want to know what levels they are. So part of that, I mentioned that, is because all the things that we've talked about has to be coordinated, just like a conductor coordinates a big orchestra, like a big ass orchestra, right? So you know who needs to perform when and where to make this beautiful event. And that is going to take some community-based organization. And I want to just put out there the thought of running what's called a joint powers authority, where you have the community's participation, but you also need the professional resources you need to make it successful. And that becomes educational to the community through this participation. The thing about the joint powers authorities is it survives elections, right? And so basically it becomes your leadership on all the aspects we need to rebuild the community. And this is a lot of aspects that need to happen simultaneously. And the last thing I'll put out there, one of the things I like to do is find out where contracts exist. So communities don't have to go through some RFP process. There's a huge contracts with Public Works with a major engineering company that does community change and program management, right? When we met with Public Works, they were like, we don't have no money. And I'm like, but you got a contract and it's been appropriated. And Altadena needs a program manager or somebody to absorb all these different musicians ready to perform and make the solutions happen right now. And so I'm just going to put that out there. So this was coming up was, how do you see, and you kind of already answered it, but the last question was going to be, how can community-based partnerships work together to create a path forward for residents to navigate uncertainty in this situation? And Joyce put out some deal points for me that could play a role in this. And so that's the company. Since you started, do you want to feel like you already answered, or do you want to do it again?
Me? Oh.
No, I'm going to let Joy go next.
Yeah.
Let Joy go first. Okay.
Oh, okay. I just had 2 quick points, though.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's just nothing. It's just part of the whole soil idea, right? Like in the past panel, someone was saying, I have a bunch of weeds in my garden. Plants can be a huge part of drawing out the toxins. So again, I would check out that regenerative landscaping thing and learn a little bit more about that, because as you were saying so importantly, you don't want to just put a new foundation on top of a toxic soil, right? So just learn a little bit more about that.